the hunting. I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted.
Yo, welcome back to LRFC. I'm your host for today. We're going to be discussing the main man, Ryan Gravenberch, and his freaking absolutely amazing performances for Liverpool so far this season. Now, as a caveat, my man, when we signed him and he played a few games under Klopp, people were quick to write him off. Today, we're going to do him justice and probably discuss why he's playing the way he is. And people tend to forget, if he's not playing in the Premier League, people don't really rate you. That's how it is right now. Because if you don't watch a player, what he was doing at Ajax, people then forget because he was riding the bench for a season at Bayern Munich. They think that the guy is absolutely gone. Yeah? But today we're going to talk about his transformation under Slot and how Slot has molded him into the six that perfectly encompasses composure, elegance. Composure and elegance is the best description for my man. And also we're going to see where he can get to in the future as well, depending, obviously, injury-free. Let's pray that he remains injury-free for Liverpool and where he can go because he's got a high ceiling, yeah? So let's get into it. Bologna came to Liverpool yesterday. They played an aggressive style of football of man-to-man marking all over the pitch. They will follow you everywhere. And when that happens, when a team is following you man for man, it's important then individuals are able to beat their player and create overloads, which I think Liverpool did really well with the likes of Ryan Gravenberch specifically. We saw a key moment towards the end of the first half where Gravenberch received the ball from Alisson with two players on him. And he received it calmly, took a touch inside, dropped the shoulder, went in between both of them and drove off the pitch and gave it into Luis Diaz. And you heard Anfield purring. They were purring. Because when they saw this guy is doing what he's doing, able to receive the ball. Yeah, like no other in the Premier League, in my opinion, in that midfield role. Receives it left foot, right foot. Turns with his back foot. Sometimes he even turns without even touching the ball. As you saw in the beginning part, where Virgil van Dijk gives him a line-breaking pass. He's already scanned. He sees the guy getting a bit too tight because they're playing that aggressive man-to-man marking, and he just lets the ball run across him, and he turns and go into a chance, and obviously Szoboszlai jumps over the ball rather than hitting it. It is what it is. But what's the takeaway? My man is bringing composure, elegance. That was we saw last season. However, I believe that the role that he was being asked to do is too much running, too much pressing in my book. He's one of those players that you need to have him close to other players so he can bounce off them with regards to his defensive output. We know Salah stole the headlines yesterday, but for me, Gravenberch was man of the match because he had the most eye-catching performance. Salah had two good moments, the assist, the goal. However, if you really, really look at it, who was the one that was actually playing well? If we look at his stats, we can see, let's have a look at his stats. We can see he completed 41 passes out of 45. That's a 91% pass accuracy. 14 out of 18 in the final third. That's 78, which is good. And 2 chances created. He created 2 chances. He won back. Now, off the pitch, this is where I think I'm liking the way the Slot is using him. It's not using him to go crazy, use his energy all over. Like, what is it? As in to press too high, come back too high. Like, where his energy is used then and his touches become a bit loose after that. He's very close to McAllister often. He's close to Trent. And so these smaller gaps in our midfield has it so much so that we can use him or use his energy when in an attacking phase and also in the defensive phases as well. He won possession 9 times, the highest on the pitch. No other player won the ball more than him. He's not just a dribbler with flair, but also has got defensive contributions this season and loads of recoveries because he understands the game. Once you understand the game, you kind of read it. Like Ruud Gullit used to say, like people used to ask him, how come you're always finding space? And he said because he anticipates, he's kind of learned a feel for what people are going to do. And so you can use that in an attacking sense and also in a defensive sense, because once you know what players are planning to do, you can anticipate it and block off all of those options quite early. That's why he wins the ball. So many interceptions, so many recoveries, is because he understands the game really, really well. Now, if we go back and listen to what Arne Slot was saying about him, because he wasn't really too happy with the performance in regards to the back passing. Not back passing, sorry. He wasn't too happy with the pressing situation sometimes and the final ball as well when we were attacking. Those two things he wasn't happy with, and the match reporter said, were you must have been delighted, and he says that delight is not a word I would use. But then when she started talking about Gravenberch, and then his eyes lit up and he said, that's a player now I can say that I was delighted with, because he was absolutely immense. And for Slot to recognize it, and I always knew he had the talent. I always knew he had the talent. However, does he have, can someone, use him the best? Who can use him the best? And I thought Klopp didn't really utilize his best attributes last season, because he could have done the role that McAllister was doing last season for us, but they didn't trust him, and that's what I think killed it for us. So yeah, and Arne Slot did also mention that when a team is playing an aggressive man-to-man game, it's important that your player or your players are able to beat their man 1v1 and create overloads in order to open up space, in order to open up the game for chances. And that's exactly what he did. Let's move on to last season. Yeah, only 90 minutes twice. Last season's performance is only 90 minutes twice in 2002-03 season. Now Gravenberch has completed full 90 minutes on all 8 Premier League and Champions League games this season. So last season, people wrote him off because the small amount of game time he received. Last season, he only played 90 minutes twice. Yeah. This season, he's already played 8 times in the Premier League and Champions League, full 90 minutes. And that's the difference. When you let a player get his confidence up, get the rhythm, you can see what he could do. Liverpool missed out on Zubimendi, but Gravenberch has stepped up. I'm sorry, but he has stepped up. And one thing is, if we do go for a Zubimendi type in the number 6 role, that frees up Gravenberch to even be more creative and be more risk-taking and be more influential in the final third. So it is looking absolutely wonderful for the future. Now, it does look like that Slot is using Gravenberch to become a pivotal player for him. He's trusting him more and more. He's liking what he's bringing more and more. And one thing he did give kudos to Jurgen Klopp and his team was that the defensive side that they were trying to push onto Gravenberch last season is paying off now, because that transitional season last season, where he had to learn how to move off the ball, has absolutely worked wonders with regards to him now, because he's showing great anticipation, interceptions, ball recoveries, and he's becoming an all-round midfielder, like someone that you just have to hang your hat on and rely on every game. Like, he's going to give us 7 to 8 out of 10 every game. And so the next challenge is going to be, can he do it against the likes of Chelsea and Arsenal? And if he can, and he dominates those teams, then we've got a potential world-class central midfielder that can be in our midfield for ages. He's only 22, guys. Remember, he's only 22, and he can only get better. He can only get better. So put your seatbelts on. This is going to be a great ride for the rest of the season. Until next time, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think about Gravenberch last season compared to this season. Be honest, did you write him off? Or were you one of those that were like, you know, holding onto your stock, because now your stock is flying and people like me are becoming millionaires off it. You know what I mean? That's an analogy for you. Like. Until next time, peace.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing, I'm always